Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I am your host, Bubba Startz, and with me now is recording and performing artist Nolan Schmidt. Nolan, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, we got to chat last week as you were seeking to do some content with some fellow Midwest country music organization members. You piqued my curiosity then. I want to allow you the time to explain all of that later in the show, but let's get to know you a little bit, man. We'll get a little bit of backstory and then we'll get into what you're working on now.
Yeah, a little bit of backstory behind me. So I've been playing drums for about, oh boy, probably about 18, 19 years or so. Self-taught, can't quite read music. My parents gave me a guitar as my dad used to be in a band when he was younger and he was a lead guitarist. So he ended up giving me his guitar and he kind of saw me tapping on it. It's like, oh, maybe he's a drummer. Well, here we are, 18 years later. No, I had a little bit of drum lessons here in St. Cloud. Did that for about 3 months, and then just kind of began to the point where my drum instructor is just told my parents, no, he gets it. He understands it. There's no reason for him to be here. So I ended up just kind of always going home and listening to music and trying to play along with it. Watched a couple YouTube drum cover guys that I follow still to this day. Um, yeah, kind of just got into it and one day I ended up making a Craigslist ad looking for a drummer, and then Levi Pelzer ended up reaching out to me and ended up meeting him and ended up playing with him for about a year and a half to 2 years. And that's what probably really got me introduced to the country music scene and really got me into a dive deep of music and playing. We did about 170 plus shows here in 5 different states, so it was a constant drive. Um, so I ended up getting married, having some kids, and now being able to slowly dive into collaborating and networking, networking with a bunch of Nashville musician artists like Rich Redmond, Jason Aldean's drummer, a couple other guys out in Nashville. Ended up visiting Nashville a few times and kind of really got out there and started networking. And I ended up building a team together with Greg Huberty, Bo Allen, and Doug with Split Willow Studios. We ended up kind of putting some drum covers together. I wanted to be able to frame myself as far as what can I do to put myself out there and be able to show people what I can do in a recorded professional setting. Um, the way I look at it is anybody can walk up to any musician and say, I'm a drummer or I'm a guitar player. It's like, okay, great. What do you got to show for it? And I think that's where this team kind of came into play. And yeah, we're able to make some really good content and be able to put a lot of opportunities out there. And I definitely gained some really cool stuff. I actually just worked with and filled in with Keith Anderson. He's a number one hit maker with Picking Wildflowers and I think Double XL as well. We kind of ended up meeting Toby Keith's bassist and it kept going. So some of these guys I talk to on a daily basis. A couple of Terry Clark's lead guitar player, worked with him as well. So just this whole broad of networking has opened up so much, and those professional videos that I do with my team have opened up a lot of those gates. So yeah, that's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, well, and you're touching on so many great things in there. One, that this business is all who you know. It is
Correct.
not how good you are at your instrument. Yes, you have to be some modicum of a talent, right? But it's all about who you know that can get you into the gigs or the job or whatever it is. Secondly, how much different it is for someone who is a player as opposed to an artist, right?
Correct.
Like I am a songwriter, so I've always been at the front of that stage. I have plenty of material of me out there playing and singing, but it's not common, I would say, for most drummer, bass player, guitar players that do that exclusively and aren't their own, kind of front of the thing to have audition tapes. And
Correct.
I know we're not calling them, you're calling them drum cover videos, but they are an audition tape. You are showing what you can do for the world, and then that content is going out there. And yes, some of them can become a viral or to help in that, but it proves not just who you are, because I think people can get a sense of that just by talking to you, but really what you can do behind the kit. And
Definitely.
I loved what I was hearing from you when we spoke on the phone. just a few weeks ago, because I don't think a lot of just drummers and players are thinking about any of this stuff. And what can they have if they're not writing their own music to really showcase their talents? And what you're doing with Greg, great guy. We were actually up against Greg, I do believe, for the content creator of the year that we
Hey,
ended up taking home this year, but it could have been anybody. Bo was also nominated as well. So I love these gentlemen. I love what they've done for the Midwest Country Music Organization and for artists throughout our region, right? I mean, I was up close to your area. I was in St. Cloud a couple of times actually this year, for other purposes. I was there to watch some, like middle school, high school football camps, but I have a deep connection now with the Minnesota music scene. And to see people like yourself that have gone out and have kind of, gotten close to the sun, right? Have gotten close to that industry and now bringing some of that knowledge you have back with you is so important. Because I think what happens to a lot of people that end up in Nashville is that they go there with the dream, they stay there too long, they get burnt out, and they come home pretty much with the like, yeah, you don't want to do any of that, and you're almost kind of poo-pooing it, right? And I mean, I'm not a big Nashville guy, right? I'm almost 40. I'm not landing in Nashville and making anything happen for myself. And I don't have $250,000 to invest in my artists to really make that upper echelon, right?
sure.
You could probably attest to that it's not necessarily about who you know in Nashville anymore. It's how much money you got.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I've really learned is, you don't have to be in Nashville to make it, but at the end of the day, what I've gathered is yes, the financials definitely help out a lot. Obviously, when you want to make an album or an EP or a song or anything like that. I mean, I definitely understand the finance aspect of it. Obviously, it's pretty expensive to live in Nashville, and I've seen enough to understand that. Now, on the flip side, however, networking is definitely huge though in Nashville. And what I mean by that, or even like the music industry in general, to make anything really possible, it's networking. I mean, it just anything can happen, whether drummer is sick or his wife has to work late or whatever the case is. A lot of it comes back to oh wait, I know this guy by the name of Nolan, or I have his guitar player I know very well. It's from Minnesota. I know you guys are going up to Minnesota, but um, networking also works in multiple different ways of even just getting your name out there with other people that know of you and have seen your videos, and it's like, oh man, he seems like a cool guy. I should, reach out to him, maybe ask if he wants to, fill in a show or the case is. So I think networking is definitely huge, but yes, I mean, I guess financially, yes, it definitely plays its part in the puzzle. But I'd say the biggest thing would be networking, being able to be a good vibe, a good hang, understanding, but yeah, also being able to play well, so
Well, it seems like you've definitely taken full advantage of not just in-person networking, but social networking as well.
yep,
And that's what really great content can do for you as well, right? It's not just being present on some of these platforms, but to be sharing some really cool stuff of you playing and doing those things is so important. I think in most people's heads, when you see a band out there playing, like a Brooks and Dunn, and maybe they're a bad example because some of these guys have probably been with them for 20 years, but maybe a Jason Aldean, or they're playing with different people, right? They're playing with, road musicians, and the band can look totally different because when you're a star, nobody's there necessarily to see the band. The band has to be good and to play
yep,
your songs well, but nobody's showing up to see the guitar player from Jason Aldean, besides
correct,
maybe his, wife and family, right? Like,
correct.
so it's so important, I think, for young musicians out there to realize that you are a business yourself. It's not all about joining a band. I love that. Bands like, somebody that's, and around and in the northern Minnesota area, a lot of these bands that we're now friends with, like an If Nothing Else band, who are themselves, right? They are a sum of the parts, right? That's never been a reality for me growing up in rural South Dakota pretty much my entire life. I've
Yep.
had hundreds of bandmates that have cycled through this thing. So I'm always looking to expand my network because I don't travel with my drummer I play with in South Dakota when I come to Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Because that's another mouth to feed. And I would much rather network my way into those positions, knowing a Nolan Schmidt is just a phone call away. And
Yep.
hey, buddy, I got 3 dates up there this weekend. Are you available? If not, you're moving down the list. Gary Spencer. Gary's played some shows with me up there. I know you guys are working together on some stuff now as well and doing some more covers. I'm assuming he's getting behind the drums and doing some covers as well, then, correct?
Yeah, so I know he plays with Haley James and Travis as well. He
And
kind of plays
starts and
between
ends on
those.
occasion.
Exactly. As far as drum covers and stuff, I'm not entirely sure if he's doing what I'm doing necessarily. But I know he's been doing more studializing stuff and
Okay, so he's been
working.
working with you on the production side then.
Yep, yeah, definitely. So, as far as like the project that Gary and I are working on, kind of all goes back to my team. So, um, obviously, I've seen what my team can do, and we keep getting better and better every single time. Bo definitely comes up with some really good ideas to get, different shot ideas, and it just keeps getting better and better by every video. Um, Going back to the networking portion. I know Gary and I have spoke on Facebook a few times, but we've never met. We've never met in person, never talked to each other like this. But it was kind of one of those things where I've always seen him filling in with other people, and always seen him with Haley and Travis, and I've always questioned, um, you know, who is this guy? What is this guy? Kind of thing. Obviously, learning about Gary over the years. Um, the particular project that I'm looking to do is it's two drummers taking in a bunch of songs, whether if it's 15 to 25 seconds per song, and we mush them all together all in one giant song, right? Where I got the idea from, going back to my earlier days of drumming, there was a drum cover guy that I always used to follow. He did a video with another drummer with one giant 6 minute song, and just the way they evened out, and it didn't make it look like a drum battle. They collaborated in such a way. I always told myself, if I can find a team and then another drummer that can play, let's do it. And honestly, and that's where Gary comes in. He's a phenomenal drummer, great guy for what I've seen. And after talking to him on FaceTime for the first time a couple weeks ago, great guy. I actually introduced the project to Greg first, just to see if it's even an option. Greg is fully on board. I brought it up to Bo, and then Split Willow Studios with Doug. They're all on board. It's definitely a huge project. It's definitely bigger than what my team has ever done. But I said, hey, I know this team's good and able to do it. Let's hammer it out. So no, I definitely threw it across the table with Gary and said, let's make some magic. Um, while brainstorming, because obviously when you have that big of a project, your brain starts to kind of spin off and starts to go into multiple different, what if we did this? What if we did that? What if they did this? Um, where it all comes back to now, the Midwest CMO. So I became a member with them actually with probably a couple months ago in July for the first time. Uh, Greg and Bo were hassling him enough to jump in that's and be a part of the organization. I said, sure. And that's when I ended up meeting one of the chairmen, I believe, that was or is with the CMO. I think her name is Jeanette, I believe. Um, and she had nothing but great things to say about it. So I said, sure, I'll jump in with it. But going back to thinking of a bunch of different ideas with this project, now going back to networking, I was thinking, a lot of people from the Midwest CMO aren't really collaborating much that I've noticing. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to bring everybody all in? Because as a musician, we are all one giant family, right? We may sing different genres, we may play different instruments, whatever, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the same finish line. And my biggest thing is, I think networking and collaborating are huge, and nobody's doing that in the Midwest area. And so I figured, hey, why not throw a post out there asking for other musicians to take one of their best songs, send it to Gary and I and my team so we can take a look at it and try to take in 15 to 30 seconds of each of those songs and pile it into one big deal. That way, one, everybody is winning, right? Both drummers are winning because they're getting their names out there. The producers, the engineers, the videographers, they're winning because they're getting their shots out there. And also everybody from the Midwest CMO that participated in the project is also winning because they're also getting their song out there. So to me, it's one giant win for a giant family at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's huge. So this is the first time that I've actually had you say exactly what it all is. I had kind of put together that's what you were after, but this is the first time I've heard it verbalized and just I think my head exploded. It's brilliant. And it will definitely be nominated for collaboration of the year, and it's going to be hard for it not to be the winner because you're just able to involve so many people with this. I will definitely be sending you songs. I know I will be recommending it to all of our Midwest CMO listeners and all of our members, our friends, our family. That would be absolutely thrilled with this. So kudos to you for a
Yeah,
great idea,
thank you.
bringing it all together, networking with the guys, and I mean, you got a super team. I mean, the team is incredible. That's the
Thank
first
you.
thing that kind of attracted me. I was like, oh, he's working with all the guys,
Yep.
and I've worked with all of these gentlemen in one way or another in the last year. I've only been a member since February of 2024, so relatively new to the organization as well, but have definitely seen its capacity for advancing someone's career in the Midwest, where it can feel a lot of times like you're just spinning your wheels out here and things aren't going anywhere. Personally, now having won an award and seeing how well Hi, I'm Bubba Startz, I have an award-winning podcast, is it opening doors for me? I realize really what this organization can be. And for a mere $50 a month, I don't know how any, or $50 a year, sorry,
There.
we don't have more members. But it's just getting stuff like this out there so people can see what it really does, because that's kind of the big question. And beyond the syndicated radio show that goes out there that you have access to maybe get your songs out, it's about the community that we are. It's about the
Yep.
members that are already here, that are investing of themselves into
Yep.
the org as well. I've kind of built out some of my own stuff because I have people that are outside of country music. Not that the CMO wouldn't accept a rock or bands like that. Their radio show isn't for that. So we're trying to open up and build even more relationships with people that are, in rock and hip hop, in EDM, and in any kind of music. You know what? I don't even care if you're making AI music. If you're expressing yourself in this day and age and you're able to get your thoughts and feelings out there to the world, because nobody's making any money. It's not like somebody coming along with an AI song is taking money away from me. I'm not making any money anyway from streaming or from anything else. And if you do crack it with an AI, kudos to you. You probably did something really awesome on the marketing side of that
Yep.
made that a success, not because the song was better or worse than anything. I don't necessarily think that that's what we're here to do anyway. We're here to be creative. We're here to
Correct.
express ourselves, and we're here to connect with other creative people. And Nolan, you are epitomizing all of those things with this one small little project, right? A 6-minute video that you and Gary hopefully will be shooting. Oh, you said October. You're kind of trying setting as a filming date.
Yeah, so we're with a project this big, it definitely takes a lot of prepping, you know.
Well, you and Gary are gonna have to learn a bunch of songs. If you're only doing 20 seconds of each one, it's a lot of songs to fill up 6 minutes.
It is. So we've definitely got some ideas kind of rolling through the brain. The idea is to probably shoot somewhere at the end of September, early middle of October, somewhere in that general region. There's definitely a lot of homework yet to be done, and we're working with as a team, FaceTiming, Zoom timing, whatever it is, Zoom meetings, just kind of working over some ideas and connecting with some of the other people that have particular locations and particular materials and stuff like that, just to make it all happen. And like it's something this big of a project takes a lot of prepping with this many people in it. And Yeah, at the end of the day, I just want everybody to win at the end of the day. You know, I'm not in it for myself because like I said, we're all one giant family. And my biggest thing is if you're gonna make it in the music world, you're better off collaborating and networking because it takes a team to do something huge, you know, whether if it's making an EP, making an album, booking a show, setting up for a show, playing a show. I mean, you definitely need a team um, to be grateful at it.
Yeah, not just a behind the scenes team, but also a team of artists and stars, right? Collaborating between the stars. A big one we just saw coming out soon. Our good friend Christine Passig and Lee Klett got together and did a duet. So really cool to see more of this. And
Yeah.
Nolan, how can our Midwest CMO members, how can they submit a song for you guys to review and maybe be part of this amazing project?
Yeah, so if you go to the Midwest CMO organization page, there's actually going to be a post in there. You'll see it's like a post and it has two drummers on it. It'll say send your video or your song in and kind of thing. And yeah, if you want to post it in the comments or if you want to direct DM me directly through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, whatever the case is, my team and myself would be happy to take a look at that song and try to fit it in there the best way we can.
Incredible stuff, Nolan. Where can people find you as well and connect with you and see some of the drum cover videos that you've already done?
Yeah, so I on Facebook obviously and then Instagram as well. My Instagram I believe is going to be Nolan.Schmidt. I think it's Nolan_Schmidt 28, I believe. Otherwise it's linked in the bio on my Facebook as well. Facebook you can find me at Nolan Schmidt, proper spelling Nolan, and then Schmidt like Schmidt beer. So it's pretty standard.
I love a good beer reference on this show. Nolan, absolutely appreciate what you guys are doing. I hope that one of my songs can float its way into this drum cover video because I really want to be a part of it myself.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm going to be sharing it everywhere that I can, and we're going to turn this episode right around and get it out as soon as possible so that our family out there can get involved and really know what's going on with this. Nolan, thank you so much for being part of the scene.
No problem. Thanks for the invite.